Hello, this is James. Today's topic is how to master your work. Now, why should you care? Well, let me ask you a couple of questions. Would you like to make more money? Of course you would. Would you like to have more happiness and fulfillment? Of course you would. Would you like to be in bigger demand for whatever product, service, value you provide? I bet you would. So if you answer yes to any of those questions, much less all of them, then you're in the right place at the right time. Stick with me. We're going to get to that in just a minute. While we're waiting for Facebook to do its thing and to notify everyone, let me just talk to you about a couple of quick things. Number one, if this video, you'll be the judge, if this video impacts you in a powerful and a positive way, then just help me, help you, help those you love and care about. And the way you do that is just to hit the share button. It's really easy. Just hit the share button. If this video impacts you in a positive and a powerful way, then share it with those you care about, because so many people need inspiration in today's turbulent times. Am I right? Second thing, if you're not yet following me on YouTube, now is the time. It's absolutely free, obviously, and my YouTube channel is James Arthur Ray. There's over 200 hours of videos there on every topic you can imagine, to how to make more money, how to have greater relationships with yourself and others, how to have more mental toughness and emotional strength, how to have greater health and fitness, how to have a stronger spiritual connection than you've ever had in your life, and so much more. So follow me on James Arthur Ray on YouTube. Now, when you come into the room here, just make sure you weigh in down below, say hello, tell me who you are and where you're from, and I'll come back after the fact, and if you have questions, ask them down below, and I'll answer those questions. But you can tell that today, you can see that the topic is how to master your work. Once again, why should you care? Well, let me ask you the question. Would you like to make more money? No or yes? Would you like to be in bigger demand for your product, service, and the value you provide? No or yes? If you would like to have more happiness and fulfillment in your life, then you're in the right place at the right time. If you answered yes to any of those questions, much less all of them, then we're going to talk about that. Because the answer is you must commit to mastery. And that's why you should care about mastery. Because people who are masterful always will get remunerated or paid at greater levels than people who are not. People who are masterful, according to research by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi and many, many others, Dr. Anders Erickson, we'll talk more about him in a minute, and many others, have more happiness and fulfillment in their life. People who are masterful are in higher demand in the marketplace, regardless of what's going on in the marketplace. And so if you want to commit to mastery and have more money, have more happiness and fulfillment, be in greater demand, then let me share with you quickly 3 things that you have to commit to and put into practice. I'm not suggesting these are the only things, but you have to commit to these 3 things. Number 1, you have to be willing to do things poorly. Now, you go, wait a minute, James. I thought we were talking about mastery. Yes, we are. But you see, every single person who is masterful was first, at some point, an amateur, a beginner, an amateur. Are you with me on this? Everybody, there's no exception, who is masterful at their craft was at some point a beginner, an amateur. And so, unfortunately, what most people, or not most people, but a lot of people end up doing is thinking that they have to perfect something and become masterful at something before they do something. But that's just not true, because the only way you learn, really learn, is not by reading books. It's not by going to courses. It's not by studying, videos. The only way you learn is through application and experience. Does that make sense to you? Now, I'm not suggesting that books and videos and courses are not important. Of course they are, but that's not how you learn. So many people think they can read a book and it's going to change their life. Well, reading a book is not going to change your life. Read a book may light a spark, but the only way that's going to turn into a flame is for you to get into the arena and to practice and to apply and to have an experience. Are you with me on this? And so let's come back to the principle number one. You have to be willing to do things poorly, because everybody who is masterful at what they do once at some point did it poorly. And the more you do it, the better you will become. Some people have such a fragile ego that they're not willing to do things poorly. And if you're not willing to do things poorly until you become great, because see, doing things poorly when you're committed to mastery I'm not talking about being sloppy. When you're committed to mastery, doing things poorly will eventually bring you to doing things greatly. Does that make sense to you? This has been true in my life, all the people I've coached, the people I've mentored, every single individual I've ever studied did things poorly at first until they became great. And then at great, they continued and became masterful. So you have to be willing to do things poorly first until you do things greatly. Number two, committed to mastery, is that you have to do a lot of work. A lot of work. If you want to do great work, you have to do a lot of work. Now look, I'm going to celebrate my 64th year in this physical body in November. And I still get up at 4 a.m. every day. I get up at 4 a.m. and I get after it, because my objective is to get more work done between 4 a.m. and noon than most people get done in an entire day, maybe more than some people get done in an entire week. You can't do a little bit of work and ever do masterful work. Does that make sense to you? You have to do a lot of work. You have to do a lot of practice. I've been in my particular industry for 4 decades, and I still practice. Every single time I do a presentation live, I practice for hour upon hour upon hour upon hour. Now, I could just show up and wing it at this point after 4 decades, but that's not how I play. Because you see, practice is not something you do just to become great. Practice is something you do when you're already great to become greater. And the greater you become, the greater the opportunity you have to become masterful. And people who are masterful are going to make more money, they're going to have more happiness and fulfillment, and they're going to be in higher demand, because there's not very many people that are masterful. Being masterful is not easy. If it were easy, then everyone would be at the top of their game, and they're just not. So you have to be willing to do things poorly until you do things greatly. Number two, you have to do a large amount of work, volumes of work. Not a little bit of work, but volumes of work. And number three, and of course all these fit together and work together. Number three, you have to be willing to put in the time. Now, Dr. Anders Erickson is the premier expert in the world on what it takes to develop mastery. And what his research proves from the University of Florida, Florida State University, what his research proves is that it takes a minimum of 10,000 hours of what he calls deliberate practice. Now, what is deliberate practice? Deliberate practice is not just any practice. Deliberate practice is practice with the sole intention of becoming better and becoming better, becoming better, becoming better, becoming better. I can't tell you in my live presentations how many hours I have deliberated over a sentence to put it together and to practice it so that it hits the mark. A sentence. 10,000 hours. Now, just to give you a perspective, 10,000 hours is a minimum of 3 hours every single day for a minimum of 10 years. No days off, no vacation, 3 hours of deliberate practice every single day for a minimum of 10 years gives you 10,000 hours. And boy, that does not resonate with the fast fame and the quick fix bunch. But the fast fame and the quick fix bunch always end up frustrated because life doesn't work that way. And you go, well, 10 years, James, that's a long time. Well, what else are you going to do with the next 10 years? Are you going to commit to mediocrity or commit to mastery? So you have to put in the time. And no one became masterful by putting in less time. People who are masterful, people who are true leaders are always asking, how can I do more, be more, become more, so that I can bring more value to the world? Not how can I do just enough to get by, but how can I do more, be more, become more, give more, so that I can bring more value to the world? So, real quickly, to recap, if you commit to mastery, you'll make more money. You'll have greater happiness and fulfillment because we're always more happy and more fulfilled when we're doing something masterfully. You are hardwired to greatness, whether you're consciously aware of that or not. And number 3, you will be pretty much recession proof because there's so few people who are masterful that you can command what it is you choose to command in the marketplace because you're just that good. Does that make sense to you? Now, one thing we didn't talk about, if this resonates with you, here's another thing. You look at a Leonardo da Vinci, one of my heroes. He spent 10 years working for his mentor, Andrea del Verrocchio, 10 years as a studio boy, sweeping floors, bringing him coffee, washing out his paintbrushes. 10 years. And, you know, I think it's inarguable that Leonardo da Vinci was one of the greatest geniuses in modern history. And he left a legacy that is untouchable. He impacted the world. You look at a Leonardo da Vinci. You look at a Michelangelo. You look at a Steve Jobs. Every single one of them had a coach or a mentor. Now, why is this? And there's many others. Kobe Bryant. Many others. Because you can't take a far enough distance from your own nonsense to see your own nonsense. Does that make sense to you? And so if you're committed to mastery, if you'd like to make more money, have more happiness, fulfillment, be in more demand in the marketplace, then let me help you. We have a coaching program. My wife Bersabeh and I have a coaching program called Project Stay Home. We get together every Thursday night, live via Zoom, with a group of growth-minded leaders from around the globe, and you can submit questions in advance via a special email that only members have. You get us live, and we'll answer your questions. We'll give you the insights, the tools, the techniques, the strategies, the skills to become masterful in your life and in your business. And here's the really, really crazy news. It's really crazy news. We put this together in 2020 when everyone was in lockdown. Project Stay Home. We decided to continue it into 2021. You get 4 live coaching sessions every single week on Thursday night. And if you happen to miss a live session, not to worry, because we record all of them and we put them into an online library that you have full access to 24/7 for as long as you're a member. And there's over 200 hours of live coaching already there. And here's the crazy news. Are you ready? Buckle your seatbelt. It's less than $5 a week. That's right. Less than $20 a month. You get 4 live coaching sessions, $19.97. And we plug you into a community where you can network, which we all need in today's world, right? and you get the tools, the techniques, the strategies, the skills that you need to develop mastery. Now, you've got to go out and apply those, obviously, but you'll get the insider track to level up in both your life and your business. So if you'd like to join our community, we would love to have you. There's a link above my head, right up here. You see that? Just click the link. It'll take you right to the landing page. It'll answer all the questions you have, and a credit card and $19.97 will get your membership, and you can join us on this Thursday. So come join our community, commit to mastery, commit to living your life to the fullest, and I'll look forward to coaching you and supporting you and helping you starting Thursday night. God bless. Thank you for your time. Once again, if this video is powerful for you, if it had an impact on you, then just hit the share button, please, and spread the wealth. Help me help the people that you love and care about. All right? God bless you. See you Thursday night. Have a masterful day.